How's it going, guys? It's Wizard101 caller here, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Today we're gonna do a little bit of an analysis slash kind of breakdown of that dev diary we got recently. I'm super excited for it, whatever this update is, or whenever it's gonna be. So I'm really happy for it, and I hope you guys are excited for it too. Let me know in the comments below. But let's not keep talking. Let's jump right into it. The first thing I wanted to talk about from this whole dev diary was talking about this segment right here. Now, it says that the game isn't changing to prohibit soloing at all or make playing it more difficult for lone wolves. So, we're getting the basic scale range and, stuff like that. If you want to solo, you want to solo. Sometimes I solo all the time as well. We just want to provide more ways for you to meet and interact with other wizards, and maybe make it worth your while if you're a bit hesitant to do so. So it seems like for this sentence, or whatever this is, it seems like it's kind of mentioning that there might be some benefits or even rewards from interacting with other wizards. Now, we've seen this before with team-ups and team-up volunteers, that obviously if you do enough team-ups, you'll get the badge, and that badge could lead to some items. I wish they kind of added more items for those team-up badges and stuff like that. I wish they added more to the shop. But again, they're trying to add some incentive for people to basically interact and socialize with each other. Now, one other segment that I really thought was really funny that kind of sparked some angry comments was talking about weddings. Yes, no, really, they mentioned weddings. Now, a little bit of context. Maybe you start a friendship by joining a group to defeat a boss you couldn't solo, and then you start logging on regularly to quest together with your friend, and then years later, you're inviting each other to your respective weddings. I've made lifelong friends because of MMOs, but only in the types of games where I got a bit of a nudge to play with other people. Okay, this one, if you guys don't know, Wizard101 has this kind of long-term problem of reporting players and the basic 10-year mute. Nobody should have to be banned for 10 years, okay? Maybe a month or, 20 days or something like that. I don't know, but like 10 years, that's a whole decade, man. Like, if I got muted on my Wiz account right now for 10 years, that would mean that my account would get unmuted in 2031. You can't write numbers in regular text chat, right? And you also can't do that in open chat. I mean, you still can write numbers down in open chat. However, there are some limits to that, meaning you can't share your discords and stuff like that, or else that might get you a 10-year mute. And we've seen this before with, sadly, one of our community members that has been muted for sharing the discord for about a decade and with no appeal process. So again, it's really rough, and a lot of people get muted. I hear so many comments from you guys that have gotten muted, or you lost an account because of this, So just be careful when you're sharing information on Wizard101. I really don't want to see anybody get muted for 10 years. I mean, that's just absolutely insane. So, just be careful on what you're saying out there, especially with open chat. We've mentioned this a couple times when they kind of messed around with the chat filters here and there. So just be careful on what you're saying there. I wouldn't want to see anybody else get banned, but pretty crazy stuff going there. I just thought that part was pretty funny. A lot of people talking about that. I mean, how would you invite somebody to to your wedding if you can't really share any type of social media type of thing? Like, how can you do that? It's a little hard, right? So anyway, going all the way down, this stuff kind of talks about everything else. This one is interesting. This is when we get into the juicy stuff. So in the coming updates, so this means that maybe in the upcoming update, we usually get one in July, I believe. So maybe in the summer update or whenever that is, hopefully soon we can get some of these changes. But regardless, I'm really excited for some of these changes. Now this one says more grouping changes. So we might see some new features for the group settings or the group method function. We'd like to give perks for having a full group 4 players. So if you have 4 players, you might get some perks and rewards. Would you like to always go first in PvE perhaps? So maybe if you're in a set group or a pre-made group, you can basically set a type of battle order of who gets to go first, who gets to go second, and who gets to go last. Maybe your hitter can be last, and maybe the tank slash healer can go first, and maybe the support character could go second. Increased drop rates. Now I think they added this part in, but it says quest drops only, not farming loot. Alright, they put this in a little parentheses. Alright, you're getting increased drop rate if you're in a group. However, this is only for quest drops, and this is basically to help questing go faster, alright? We almost got there with farming loot. I can imagine seeing this being very beneficial in Darkmoor. Maybe you're doing a full run of a team up in Darkmoor, and hey, maybe let's group up so we can get increased drop rates, and maybe we can ditch the group up, or we can keep farming. I thought that would be an interesting way to definitely increase. I think they should change this. It should not just be quest drops only. Because think about it like this. If I'm farming Darkmoor and I just want to get the robe, think about it like this. I could talk to people like, hey, do you guys want to form a group so we can get increased drop rates? But not only that, but you might even create a sort of like friendly bond with those players to maybe keep farming with them, or even get to know them, or even become friends. So I think they should change this, not just for quest drops only, because honestly, I don't know why they just make farming so like grindy. Like, I don't know. I personally just don't have 100% time to play this game every single hour. I don't know, I just thought that would be cool to change that to just regular loot. Like, if you're playing in a pre-made group, get more drop rates. I think that would be great, especially with Spellmans, dude. Alright, anyway, this one is interesting, and this kind of segues into guilds. Adventure parties, interested in a more permanent way to group up with your friends. While guilds are on our list, they're still pretty far away, so guilds are still being worked on. Our first step is a bit on a smaller scale, sort of like a guild-like system. Just to be clear, adventure parties are not guilds. Okay, everybody? Learn that adventure parties are not guilds. Don't think that, okay? I've had a lot of people asking me, yo, what are guilds? Like, what? We don't know what guilds are, and I am here to show you. What better way to not show you guys? Obviously, from the World of Warcraft. This is their fandom right here. We're just going to talk about it. Basically, a guild is typically an in-game association of player characters. Guilds are formed to make grouping and raiding easier and more rewarding, as well as to form a social atmosphere in which to enjoy the game. There's also banking guilds to increase maybe your loot inventory. The guilds offer many benefits, including free items. And now this one is also interesting. Frustrated by joining combat half a second late, what if we allowed players to join during the combat phase? So this one I'm actually going to show you a demonstration of. So if a random wizard was to join this combat phase, that means that they can basically join instantly without having to wait a single round. So if you don't know, if you join the battle late, you'll have to wait a single round, basically. However, what they're saying is that you can basically join in instantly during that combat phase and still select some cards and help out your team. And this is actually a really good system because it could also help with people that have slow computers or just internet issues and stuff like that. I've seen this a couple times when people have slower computers and they might have a little delayed image on their screen. This is definitely going to be a game changer, especially if you want to try to, I don't know, help out your team, basically, you know, like put a feint up, blade, or something like that. Don't worry about being late. I would really love that. And I want to see if that has any effect for the late cheats in the game. I am curious to see what late cheats are going to be like, if that is what they're going to. Another cool thing is that then they're also adding in some sort of function to eject your minions. Basically, that lets you leave some room for another wizard to join in, instead of having to sacrifice your minion fully, because, you know, that's the only way to get rid of a minion on the field. You have to wait until they're defeated, or you can basically sacrifice them, which I personally don't have sacrifice spells. But again, pretty cool updates. Overall, I think this whole dev diary was pretty interesting. I'm personally excited for the future of adventure parties or whatever it is, and yeah, I just can't wait to see what happens next. Let me know in the comments below on if you guys are excited for adventure parties and more group changes and stuff like that. My name is Wizard101, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out, and thanks for watching, guys.